I was reading or talking to a friend of mine yesterday that the Japanese have just done a survey of how their trains ran last year, and they have discovered that throughout the train system in the whole of Japan, the trains delayed for only 3 minutes and 1 second. If you go to many African countries, if the train arrives on time, you wonder what is wrong.
I'm a king, yes, I'm a king, I think I'm a king.
Those of you who have come to the United States of America or gone to other parts of the world, one of the things that they'll not allow you to bring into this country is raw food. In many African countries, you can actually walk eating meat. So I'm saying that we must remain optimistic. And you know, they are simple things, but they are critical because they know if you enter with these things in the arena, you are going to destroy the food chain. Those of you who are in the technological sector, today, and you permit me to just use this example. When we were growing up, in fact, not so long ago, there was a time when the mobile, if you had a mobile phone in your car, you had to make all of us know that you had a mobile phone because it cost nearly $1,000. And if the phone did not ring at any one time and you are in somebody's car and they were driving, that individual would pick the phone and pretend to make a call, if only to announce I have one. Within our lifetimes, in those days it was Nokia. In those days it was not. Today, you can see that the Chinese, out of 10 mobile phones that you have in this room, 5 are possibly made in China, and all of them are assembled in China. What did they do? Their young men and women in their institutions of learning came to distant parts of the world, even here in the United States. When I walk in Boston, I see the number of Chinese students, and you can see they are so focused. I do not know whether you see how focused the Chinese are. Even when they are walking, they are focused. And their focus, in my view, I do not know, is to finish their studies, to go back to China. And when they go back to China, they are doing whatever they do. I may be wrong about this, but I see them in many parts of Africa. Whatever they do is about Mother China. And I want to believe that the Chinese government can account for almost 100% of the Chinese anywhere in the world. If you ask the Zimbabwean embassy how many Zimbabweans, they have no idea. If you ask the Liberians how many Liberians are in the United States, they have no idea. I'm submitting to us that in whatever area we are, we have a contribution to make. And everybody sees that. About a month ago or 2 months ago, I was amazed that within 1 month, the French Prime Minister was in Senegal, the German Chancellor was in Cote d'Ivoire, the British Prime Minister was in Kenya and in South Africa, the Chinese President was in Rwanda. And I say, what are these fellows doing here? What are they seeing that we can't see? There is something in Africa, and that is why I hold the view that you who are here in the technological sector, you have a duty. And I'm not one who believes that in order to grow Africa, you must migrate physically to be in Africa. No, I'm not saying that. That would be stupid and naive. It is possible to do things in Africa even here. The question is, are you prepared? And if it is in the area of education, what are we doing with our education sector? This country is constantly thinking about ways and means of improving things. You know, if you go to many African countries, and I'm about to conclude in laying this agenda, there are things that stand out and tell me that until and unless we change, we will not realize our potential. And I'll give very practical examples. You walk into a Subway, fast food environment, and you find one individual. If that facility were in Africa, there would be 30 individuals, all getting confused about which cheese to give you. Being orderly is at the very heart of the Africa that we want to create. I was reading or talking to a friend of mine yesterday that the Japanese have just done a survey of how their trains ran last year, and they have discovered that throughout the train system in the whole of Japan, the trains delayed for only 3 minutes and 1 second. If you go to many African countries, if the train arrives on time, you wonder what is wrong. And I want to conclude with this story that was being told. My friend Ben O'Para was here, I think, when we were being told, maybe you are not. But the story is told, which is apocryphal, of course, where a new aeroplane has been built, and then the lady, excitedly, as the air hostesses normally are, says that you are just about to take off, and she adds this, that we are very happy that this is the first aircraft ever to have been made by students at our university, and everybody runs out. But only one professor remained, the professor at that university, and he's asked, why did you not run out? Said, why should I run out? The plane will not take off. The moral of that story is this. In order for us to realize our potential, we must also regain our self-esteem. The belief that we are capable of doing things. Even the Boeings that you so comfortably entered into, there was a first day that they flew. So one of the things that I'm suggesting to us is self-esteem is what will redefine us. And that is why, therefore, I hold the view that those of you from Africa and those of you from outside of the continent of Africa, education is not in vain. Education is about changing the quality of people's lives in the critical areas, whether it is in health, whether it is in education, whether it is in agriculture, whether it is in the area of technology, whether it is in the area of economics. We must now begin to have young Africans and young people in the world who are going to go out there and rebuild Africa. And I hold the view that Africa Agenda 2063, with which you must acquaint yourself, provides a good architectural plan. Today, one of my mentees from Mexico City sent me a message. He said, we must not wait until 2063 to realize these goals. I told him, goals are not there that we must score. Goals are there that we must shoot close to them. The closer we are, the more celebratory we are. So Agenda 2063 is a roadmap that allows you to look at how Africa will be in 40 years from today. In 40 years in 2063, most of you will still be alive. You will be mature, but the beauty is, as I conclude, is that you are at one of the best universities in the world. But that is not an end in itself. That is the beginning of the beginning. What are you going to use with your law degree? What are you going to do with your economics degree? What are you going to do with your governance degree? What are you going to do with your computer science degree when you get back home? This is what will be asked of you. And I'm submitting to us that the continent of Africa, when I look at her, in 50 years' time, she'll be a beautiful continent. Amen. But only if we work at it. If we don't work at it, it will not be. So go out there and begin, number one, by decolonizing your minds. Begin by identifying what you want to do. Identify your niche. Identify your area of contribution. Enter into collaborative efforts that inform the things that you will do, because Africa is going to be built village by village, block by block. I conclude with these two statements, one from Ali Mazrui. During the struggle for apartheid, he was asked, you talk so much and against apartheid, what is the contribution that you will make in the struggle? He said, the only contribution is that I've taken the decision never to buy apples from South Africa. And I'm asking all of you, he said, to identify the single thing that you will do, and all those combined will bring apartheid down. The other statement is from Mother Teresa of Calcutta. He said that when you get into a dark room, the natural inclination is to complain about the darkness. But he said, if only you could light your own candle, and your neighbors light their own candles, darkness will be conquered. So don't ask what your neighbor is doing, ask what you can do. And if you ask that question, I believe Africa can be great. Perhaps not in your lifetime, but during the lifetime of your children's children. That is my contribution in opening this debate. We may now cross-fertilize our minds.